Hi guys, this is Rajashree. Welcome to my channel. In this lecture, we will see use of wrapper classes and what are the wrapper classes are in Java. So basically, in what we used to say about Java, Java is object-oriented programming language. Everything is object over here. Even though this is, but still, we are using primitive data types like integer, float, double, long, short, or char, boolean like this. So even though it is object oriented, still we are using primitive data types because these are available because always to handle object these primitive data types are not part of object class. Every time to uh, to use this object and to have the object always for the simple types of operations, this will be overhead. So these primitive data types are available. But still, there are, as in Java, there are too many built-in classes available. In these built-in classes, too many built-in functions are available, and there are some functions which are used. Uh, so in these functions, we can pass only the reference, not the value as argument. So if we are using primitive data types, we can't pass its reference. So if we are going to convert these primitive data types into object, its reference can be passed to these objects, and with these all data types, if we are converting all these data types into objects, any of the reference of any of the object can be passed depend upon the type of the function, type of the argument used over there. So for that, this is done by using wrapper classes. So what is wrapper classes? So for every primitive data type, related wrapper classes available. So basically there are three categories: number, character and boolean. So under number category, these are the number of wrapper classes available. So out of that, byte. So this byte wrapper class is used for primitive data type byte. So if I write b small, it will be considered as primitive data type, and when I write b capital, it is considered as name of the class, that is byte, because as per the conventions of Java programming, class name always starts with the capital letter. So here this byte is nothing but this is the wrapper class for the primitive data type byte. Next, short. Short is the wrapper class for the primitive data type short. Integer. Integer is wrapper class for primitive data type int. Long. Long is a wrapper class for the primitive data type long. Float. Float is a wrapper class for the primitive data type float, and double is wrapper class for the primitive data type double. The difference is only in the first character. In wrapper class, it is capital. In primitive data type, first character is also a small case. Only that is the difference. So clear difference is in integer. We are using here wrapper class name completely as integer, whereas in primitive we are using only int, where I is also small. So these all are the wrapper classes which are coming under the category number. First we will see these wrapper classes, then we will move for character. Character wrapper class is used for char data type, and boolean with capital B, that wrapper class is used for boolean primitive data type. That we will see on slide also. Let us see constructors used with these numerical or the number wrapper classes. So here you can look at the chart. In this column, the names of the wrapper classes are given, and in next column, constructors are given. So first, float. Float wrapper class having three constructors. In first constructor, it is used argument of type double. That means by using double data type argument, you can construct object of a float class. Second constructor, float in bracket float num by using float data type as argument, you can construct object of float, or you can also construct object of a float wrapper class by providing argument of type string. So with this, it is also written that throws number format exception. Why this is included? Because here we are taking string. String can be any, it can be character also. If somebody has written, suppose string is, let us consider it is suppose 10.5. This string is taken, it's okay. This 10.5 can be converted into float. That can be, it can build object by using 10.5 if that is a string. But if let us consider string is in double quotation, suppose ABC. This ABC is not able to convert into the float. So in that case, it will generate number format exception. So whenever third constructor is used, with that it is declared that it can throw number format exception. So it is written throws number format exception. So if conversion is not proper, or the proper conversion is not possible from string to float, it may generate number format exception. Next, double. It is having two constructor. First constructor taking argument of type double number, and second constructor taking argument of type string. So again here throws number format exception. Reason is same. If this string is not able to convert into double number, then it may generate number format exception. Next is byte. Byte also having two constructors. First, we can create object of byte class by using any byte number as an argument, or second constructor, we can create object of byte class by using any string argument also. Again here throws number format exception. That means if string, given string is not able to convert into byte, then it will generate number format exception. Then short. Again having two constructors. You can create object of a short class by using any short number as an argument, or by using any string as an argument. If that string is not able to convert into short number, then it will throw number format exception. So it is written throws number format exception. So while writing a string, you should take care that it should be possible to convert that string into number. Then integer. Integer in bracket integer num, it should be int num. Instead of integer, here argument should be int num. So primitive data type int can be written as argument while creating object of integer class, or you can provide argument of type string in like a second constructor. So again you have to take care, this string should be able to convert into integer, otherwise it will throws number format exception. Long. Object of long class can be constructed by using argument of type long number, or you can provide any string. So while writing string over here, you have to take care that it should be converted into long number, otherwise it will throws number format exception. So these are the constructors, and how to use the constructors and the meanings of the constructors for float, double, byte, short, integer and long wrapper classes. These are some constants which are available in these wrapper classes. So here comparative chart is made. So in this first column, The names of the constants are mentioned. In second column, description for these constants are mentioned. And here all these wrapper classes names are mentioned: float, double, byte, short, integer and long. And where it is mentioned that in which class these constants are available and where it is not available. Yes means available, no means not available. So first, max exponent. This constant is available only in float and double wrapper class. So this constant is used for maximum exponent value available with that wrapper class. So definitely it is exponent. It can be available only with float and double. With remaining types of data, it will not be available. Max value is used for maximum positive value that can be possible with that related wrapper class, and this constant is available in all the classes: int, double, byte, short, integer and long. Next, mean exponent. This is for minimum exponent value with the related wrapper class. This is again available only in float and double wrapper class, not for remaining. Mean normal. This is for minimum positive normal value as per Java SE6. This is available in all the classes: float, double, byte, short, integer and long. Mean value. This is minimum positive value. This is available with float and double. None, not a number. This is available with float and double. Positive infinity. So this constant will give you the positive infinity value for that related wrapper class, and this is available only in float and double wrapper class. Negative infinity. It gives you the constants for negative infinity in with related wrapper class, and it is also available. It is available only with float and double. Size, the bit width of wrapped value. It is available in all the wrapper classes: float, double, byte, short, integer and long. And last is type, the class object, which type of object, what is the name of the class for which you are creating the object. The name of the class it will give you if you are using constant as type, and this constant is available in all the wrapper classes: float, double, byte, short, integer and long. So this is again a commonly used common method which is available in all the number wrapper classes with very small difference. So this is again comparative study. So this is wrapper class. Here method name is given as xxx value, where this triple x stands for the data type. Like this triple x can be replaced by byte, double, short, integer, int, long, like this. And here the description is available. For example, if we are using wrapper class as byte, in byte wrapper class, here return type of this method will be byte, and this triple x will be byte. So byte, name of the method is byte value. This is used, it returns the value as byte. So this byte value and this xxx value, you can say this method is first thing, this is instance method. To use this method, you require object of a related wrapper class. So whatever the object you are using, in that whatever the value is present, that value will be written in the form of byte. So returns the value as byte. Second, double. So wrapper class is double, so it is double value and the return type is double. So it returns the value as double. Float, name of the method will be float value. Triple x replaced by float now. So what are the object you are using, that is object of a float class, you will use to call this method, and this object value will be converted into the into equivalent float after execution of this method. Return type is float, returns the value as float. Integer, int value, return type is int, so returns the value as int. So what are the object of integer class you are using to call this method? Its value will be converted into equivalent integer after execution of the method. Long, method name will be long value, return type will be long, returns the value as long. What are the object of long class we are using to call this long value? Its value will be converted into long, primitive long data type after execution of this method. Short, method name will be short value. So it returns the value as short, return type is short. So what are the object of short wrapper class you are using to call this short value method? Its value will be converted into primitive data type short after execution of the method. Next, method name is compare. This compare method is available in double as well as in float wrapper class. So how to use this method? See, static int compare. If you are using a wrapper class, in wrapper class, if you are using this method compare, first thing, this method is a static method. So to call static method, what require? You require name of the class, not object name. So it is called as class method. So if you want to use this compare with double wrapper class, how you will use? Double with D capital, double dot compare in bracket two double values. So like this you can use static method. So if you are using a wrapper class double, your method will be static int compare and the parameters double num1 comma double num2. Both of the arguments you will pass as of type double. Whereas if you are using wrapper class as float, how you will call? Float dot compare, and in bracket you will have both of these arguments of type float. First float number comma second float number. So here we are performing comparison between number 1 and number 2. Whether whatever it is, maybe double double or float float, depend upon the wrapper class you are using. Description: how it compares these two numbers? Compares value of num1 and num2. See, return type is integer. Okay, so if num1 and num2, both of these numbers are exactly same or one and the same, then return value will be 0. Whereas if num1 is less than num2, return value will be any negative number. If num1 is greater than num2, return value will be positive integer number. So depend upon the value, whether you are getting 0, negative and positive, you can identify which number is greater than, or whether they are equal or not, or which number is greater than which number. Okay. The next method is bit count. This bit count method is available in integer and long. Use of this method is returns the number of set bits in num. Set bit means whatever the number you are using, if you are converting that number into binary format, so in that binary, that means sequence of ones and zeros. So in that sequence of ones and zeros, whatever the number of ones, that means out of that sequence, how many number of ones you are having, So count of ones, these are called as set bits. So it returns the number of set bits in number. So if you are using integer wrapper class, it can be used like static int bit count in bracket int num. Again, this method is static method. That means if you want to use this method, you need to use name of the class. It is integer, just like integer dot bit count, and in bracket you can put up any integer number. So that internally that integer number will get converted into binary format, and it will count how many number of bits which are 1, and that number will be written after execution of the method. And similarly, it will works on long wrapper class. So only the difference is that you will call this method by using long dot bit count, and in bracket as argument you can pass any long number. So again, internally that long number will get converted into binary. It will count how many number of ones are present over there, and that number will be returned. Next is number of leading zeros. So number of leading zeros, this method is available in integer and long class. This is static method again. So if you are using that with integer class, so first see the description. Returns the number of higher order 0 bits that precedes the first higher order set bit, this one, in num. If num is 0, 32 is returned. If you are using with this integer class, how you will call this method? As it is a static, you will use this class name integer dot number of leading zeros, in bracket you will pass any integer number. So this integer number will get convert into 32-bit binary number, because size of integer is 32. So it will get convert into integer into the binary form. In that binary form, it will check how many leading zeros are present. Leading zero means higher order zeros up to the first set bit, that means up to the first 1 bit. So it will count all the leading zeros, and that number of zero that count will be returned. So return value is integer. Same thing will happen if you are using long wrapper class. The difference is that here you will call long wrapper class name, that is long dot number of leading zeros, in bracket you can put up argument as long data type. Again it will count number of leading zeros, and that number will be returned. Opposite to that, number of trailing zeros. This is again a static method. This is again available with integer and long wrapper class. The uses returns the number of lower order 0 bits that precedes the first lower order set bit in num. And if the value is 0, 32 will be the return value. If all are zeros, 32 will be a count of zeros. This is common for leading zeros and trailing zeros. So especially for the size of integer, as it is 4 byte, 32 bits will be there, 32 will be the return value. So for long, okay, for integer, if you are using number of trailing zero, you will call this as integer dot number of trailing zeros. As an argument, you will pass here any integer number. So in that internally, that integer number will be converted into 32-bit binary number, and it will count number of trailing zeros, that means lower order 0, up to the first lower order set bit, that is 1 bit, and that lower order zeros will be counted, and that count will be returned. Same thing will be happen if you are using long wrapper class. Only the difference is that we will use long dot number of trailing zero, and in bracket argument will be any long number. So again it will count number of trailing zeros, these lower order zeros, up to the first lower order set bit, and that count will be returned. Method name toBinaryString. This method is again available with integer and long data type. It is again a static method. The use of the method is return string that contain binary equivalent of number. First we will see integer. If we are using the integer wrapper class, we will call this as integer dot toBinaryString. In bracket, we will put up argument of type any integer number. So whatever the number you will provide as an argument after the execution of the method internally, this number will be converted into binary format, and this complete binary sequence will be returned as a string as a result. Okay. Same thing will happen if we are using this with long wrapper class. You will use like long dot toBinary string. In bracket you will put up your any long number. Here long word is missed, so any long number you will put up over here. So that number internally will get converted into binary format. This complete binary sequence will be written as a string. Next, to octal string. Just like binary, number will be converted into octal and that will be written as a string. So this is again available with integer and long wrapper classes. So uses return string that contain octal equivalent of a number. You will call this as integer dot toOctal string, and in bracket you will have any integer number. So whatever the number you have put up over here, this number internally will get converted into equivalent octal format, and as a string you will get that octal number. If you are using this with wrapper class long, it will be like, as this is static method, long dot toOctal string. In bracket you will have a long type number. So this long number internally will get converted into octal, and this octal equivalent as a string you will get as a result. ToString. This is again available with integer and long wrapper classes. This is again a static method. It returns string equivalent of a number. It is string number as a string. If you are using with this integer, it will be like integer dot ToString. In bracket you will provide any integer number. So that number, same number you will get return, but it will be considered as a data type string. If you are using this with long dot ToString, in bracket you will put up any long number. Same number you will get as a return, but that will be considered as a string because data type is get changed to string. ToHex string. This method is available with double, float and integer. This is static method. To use this method, you require name of the related wrapper class. Uses returns a string containing the value of num in hexadecimal format. For example, if we are using wrapper class double, you will use like double dot ToHex string. In bracket you will provide any double number. So whatever the number you are going to provide over here, this number will get converted into hexadecimal and that will be considered as a string. So double number is converted into hexadecimal and that will be a string. For float, if you are using float wrapper class, then you will use like float dot ToHex string. In bracket any float number. So this float number will be converted into hexadecimal string and that will be returned. So float to hexadecimal and that will be given as a string. Integer dot ToHex string. In bracket you will provide here any integer number. So whatever the integer number you are going to provide over here, this number will be converted into hexadecimal and that will be a string as a return value. Compare to method. This compare to method is instance method. Means to use this method you require object of or related wrapper class. This compare to method is available with byte, double, float, integer, long and short wrapper class. Return type of this method is integer. So either return type of this method is integer, that means either it will give return value as 0 or negative integer or positive integer. So which result you will get one that we will see in description part. So compare the numeric value of the invoking object with that of num object. Invoking object means object which is responsible to call this compare to method. So that invoking object is compared with the argument object, that is num object, and if num1 equals to num2, that is your invoking object is equal to the argument object. Let us consider invoking object is num1 and argument object is num2. So everywhere. So if both of these objects are same, then return value will be 0. If invoking object is less than argument object, then the return value will be negative. And if invoking object is greater than argument object, then the return value will be positive. So how to use this? If we are using this byte class, we can use object of a byte class dot compare to, in bracket you can provide here any object of byte class. That means comparison between two byte class objects. So similarly, if we are using wrapper class double, you will use object of a double class to call this method and object of a double class as an argument. If you are using float wrapper class, you will use object of a float wrapper class to call this method and object of a float wrapper class as an argument. If you are using with this wrapper class integer, it will be integer object dot compare to, in bracket another integer object. With long object dot compare to, in bracket another long object, and short object dot compare to, in bracket another short object. So comparison between two objects of a similar wrapper class. So this is compare to method, which is instance method. Equals. So equals method is available with byte, double, float, integer, long and short. This method is again instance method. That means to call this method you require object of a related class. Again this is used to compare two objects, but the difference is that return type is boolean. That means either you will get true or false. If both of these objects are of same type, having the same value, return value will be true. If these are different, return value will be false. So the description is returns true if invoking object, that means object which is calling the method, is equivalent to parameter object, otherwise it is false. So if we are using with this byte class, so byte class object dot equals, in bracket another byte class object. So if both of these objects are same, return will be true. If these are different, return will be false. With double class object dot equals, in bracket another double class object. If both of these objects are same, return value will be true and otherwise return will be false. Similarly with float object dot equals, in bracket another float objects. So if both of these objects are same, return will be true, otherwise return will be false. Integer object dot equals, in bracket another integer object. If both of these objects are same, return will be true, otherwise return is false. Long object dot equals in bracket another long object. If both of these objects are same, return will be true, otherwise return is false. Short with short object to invoke method short object dot equals in bracket another short object. If both of the objects are same, return value will be true, otherwise return value will be false. Is infinite method. This is a instance method. So this method is available with float as well as in double. So this method is used to, it returns true if invoking object contains infinite value, otherwise false. So whatever the object, if you are using this with float class, if you are using float class object and you are writing float class object dot is infinite, so whatever the value in that object, if that is infinite, return will be true, otherwise return will be false. And same thing will happen with the double class object. Is nan, return again, return type is boolean. Is nan means not a number. Returns true if invoking object is not a number. So whatever the this is available with float as well as with double. So if you are using float object and that object contains the value which is not a number, return will be true, otherwise return will be false. Same thing will happen if you are using double class object. So comparative study part is over. Now some specific methods related to the wrapper class, specific wrapper class that we will see. So these all methods are of wrapper class float. See, these all are static methods. That means if we want to use these methods, we require name of the wrapper class, that is float. So like for example, first method is float to int bits. To call this method, how we will call? Float, that is with capital float, this word float dot float to int bits. Then second we will call as float dot float to raw int bits. Then float dot int bits to float. So by using name of the class, we will call these methods. Now we will see the use of these methods one by one. First is int. Return type is integer. Name of the method is float to int bits in bracket float num. So this method returns the IEEE compatible, that is single precision bit pattern that correspond to number. So whatever the float number you are giving over here, that number, by considering its single precision pattern, that is first bit is considered as sign, next 8 bits are considered as exponent, and 24 bits are considered as precision. By considering this bit pattern, this float number will get compared to int. Then second, return type is integer, float to raw int bits. Whatever the float number you are giving over here, this float number will get converted into raw int bits. What it means? Returns the IEEE compatible, that is again single bit pattern, precision bit pattern that correspond to num. Same thing as I told for the previous method, only the difference is that a nan value is preserved. The difference is that nan, that is not a number, that value is preserved with this second method. Next, static float int bits to float in bracket int num. Return type is float, primitive data type float. It is used to convert int bits to float. That means all these methods are very easy. Whatever the names given to these methods are very meaningful. Itself these methods telling the meaning. What it return? Int bits to float. That means integer to float. So whatever the integer number you are giving over here, this number is getting converted into float by using a single precision bit pattern. Next is static method. Return type is float. Parse float in bracket string str throws number format exception. Returns the float equivalent of a number contained in the string specified by str using radix 10, radix that is base of number system. Means what? Whatever the string as an argument you are providing, that string will get converted into float. While converting that string into float, base of the number system that is radix is considered as 10, that is decimal. It is considered as 10. While converting this string into float, it may happen that somebody might be written here string as some characters. Suppose ABC, double quotation ABC. This ABC is not possible to convert into float. So at that time it will generate error number format exception. What it means? If this string is not possible to convert into float, there will be number format exception. Next, return type is string, to hex string in bracket float num. What it means? Returns a string containing the value of num in hexadecimal format. So whatever the number you are giving as an argument, this number will be converted into hexadecimal and it will be given as a string as a result. Next, return type is string, to string in bracket float num returns a string equivalent of the value specified by num. Whatever the number you are giving as an argument, same number you will get as return, but that number will be a string. Float, return type is float, that is float object, value of in bracket float num. Returns the float object containing the value passed in num. What is this? Whatever the primitive data type float number you are giving as an argument, this will be converted into float object. That is converting primitive data type into object. And this technique is called as boxing. This is very interesting concept in object-oriented programming, that is called as boxing. It means that converting primitive data type into object. So that is done by using value of method. Next, return type is float object. Again method name is value of, but the argument is string str. So whatever the string you are giving over here, this string will be converted into float object. But if the string is not proper, it is not possible to convert that into a float object, it may generate number format exception. So returns the float object that contains the value specified by the string str. Then return type is boolean is infinite in bracket float num. Returns true if num specifies an infinite value, otherwise it returns false. Whatever the number you are giving as an argument, that float number, if that float number is infinite, return value will be true, otherwise it is false. These are the methods of double wrapper class. Methods of the all these classes are very similar. We will see one by one. Again, all these are static methods. That is, to call this method, you need to use wrapper class name double, like double dot, double two long wait, double dot, double two raw long waits, double dot is none, like this. So we will see one by one all these methods. Return type is long. double to long bits. What it means? Converting whatever the argument double is here, that double number will get converted to long bits. So returns the IEEE compatible this double precision bit pattern that corresponds to num. So whatever the number is given over here, by considering it as a double bit or double precision bit pattern, it will get converted into long bits. Return type is long. The next method is similar to first one. So only the difference is that it will here convert NaN, that is not a number value, is preserved. Remaining thing is same. Static boolean is none. Return type is boolean. So whatever the double number you are giving over here as an argument, it will check whether this number is not a number, is a number or not. It returns if number specify value that is not a number. Otherwise, it is written false. If it is not a number, it is true. If it is a number, it will be false. Next, fourth is return type is double, long bits to double. As an argument, you will have here one long number. So this long number will be converted into double. This double equivalent, and return value will be double. So returns the double equivalent of the IEEE compatible double precision bit pattern specified by number. Static return type is double, pass double in bracket string str, throws number format exception, returns the double equivalent of the number contained in the string specified by str using radix 10. Radix, that is base of number system. Whatever the string str you are using as an argument, this string will get converted into double primitive data type number, and while converting this from string to double, if the conversion is not possible, it will throw error number format exception. Sixth, return type is string to hex string in bracket double num. Whatever the number double number you are giving as an argument, that will be converted into hexadecimal, and as a string it will be returned. Next, string return value to string in bracket double num. Whatever the double number you are giving here as an argument, this double number value will get converted into string. Double value in bracket double num. This is again a boxing method. So whatever the double primitive data type number you are passing as an argument, this will be converted into double class object. This is boxing method. Next, return type double, name of the method value of in bracket string str, throws number format exception. That means whatever the string argument you are giving over here, this string will be converted into double object, and if this argument conversion is not possible, if it get false, it will generate number format exception. Byte class methods. All these are again static methods. That means if you want to use any of this method, you need to use byte class name and then dot operator and then method name. For example, byte dot decode, byte dot parse byte dot toString, like this. We will see one by one. Return type is byte object, decode in bracket string str, throws number format exception. Returns the byte object that contains the value specified by the string str. Whatever the string str you are giving over here, this string will get converted into byte object. And if this conversion is not possible, it will be failed. It will generate number format exception. Byte parse byte, return type is byte, parse byte in bracket string str, throws number format exception. Returns the byte equivalent of the number contained in the string specified by str using radix 10. Radix, that is base of the number system. Whatever the string you are providing over here, this string will get converted into byte, and while doing this, base of the number system, that is radix, is considered as 10. And if conversion from this string to byte is not possible because of improper string you are using, it will generate throws number format exception. Byte return type, parse byte in bracket string str int radix, throws number format exception. Method number 2 and method number 3, both of these are similar. The difference is that in third method we can provide radix also, which what is the base which we want to use, that also we can specify. Here in second method, default radix is 10, but here we can specify the radix. It can be what it can be. It can be 16, 8, whatever it is. 10, 6, 10, 10 for decimal, 8 for octal, 16 for hexadecimal, like this. We can provide here radix. So it converts given string into byte data type by using specified radix. And if this conversion is not possible, it will generate number format exception. So the description is written. Returns the byte equivalent of the number contained in the string specified by str using specified radix. Next method is return type is string, method name is toString, argument byte num. So whatever the byte number you are using over here, it will get converted into string and that will be returned. Return type is byte object, value of in bracket primitive type byte number. Boxing method. So whatever the byte number you are using over here, this byte number will be converted into byte object. Static type of method static. Return type is byte object, value of in bracket string str, throws number format exception. So whatever the string you are using over here, this string will be converted into byte object, and if this conversion is not possible, it will throw number format exception. Return type is byte, value of in bracket first argument string str comma int radix. 6 and 7 method, both of these are similar, only the difference is that here by default radix is considered, in 6 method radix is by default considered as 10, whereas in 7 method we can specify our radix for decimal 10, for octal 8, for hexadecimal 16, like this. So this string will be converted into byte object, and to do this, whatever the radix we have specified, as per that the conversion is takes place. And if this conversion is not possible, it will throws number format exception. Short class method. All these are static methods. If we want to use these methods, static methods, we need to use name of the class, wrapper class short, like short.decode, short.parse short, like this. We will see one by one. First method, return type is short object, decode in bracket string object str, throws number format exception, returns the short object that contains the value specified by the string str. So whatever the string you are specifying over here, this string will be converted into short object, and if this conversion is not possible, it will throws number format exception. Second method, return type is short, parse short. This short is primitive data type. In bracket argument string str returns the short equivalent of the number contained in the string specified by str using radix 10. So whatever string you are using over here, by considering 10 as a base or the radix, it will get converted into short data type, primitive data type, and if this conversion is not possible, it will throws number format exception. Next method, third method is similar to the second method, only the difference is here we can specify radix also. So as per the return type is short primitive data type, parse short, in bracket first argument is string, second argument is integer, that is for radix. So whatever the string we are giving over here, that string will get converted into short primitive data type by using specified radix, and if this conversion is not possible, if it is not possible, then it will generate number format exception. Next, fourth method, return type is string, method name is toString, argument short num. So whatever the short number you are specifying over here, this number will be converted into string. Next, return type is short object, name of the method is value of, argument primitive data type short number. So this primitive data type short number will be converted into short object by using value of method. Again, this is boxing method. Static return type is so here third method. So depend on whatever string is given over here, that will be converted into short value by using the radix whatever specified, and if the conversion is not possible, number format exception will occur. Next, return type is string. Whatever the given number is over here, this number will get converted into string. Method name is toString. Short return type is short object. Value of is the method name, and in bracket argument is of type primitive short number. So this primitive short number will get converted into short object, and while doing this, this is the boxing method. So primitive data type is get converted into short object. Next is short return type is short, value of in bracket string str. Whatever the string you are giving over here, this string will be converted into short object, and if this conversion is not possible, number format exception will occur. Next, return type is short, name of the method is value of, first argument string, second argument integer for radix. So this string will be converted into short object by using radix whatever you have specified, and if this conversion is not possible, number format exception will occur. Next, return type is short primitive value, reverse bytes, and argument is short number. So whatever the short number you are giving over here, these number its bytes will get reversed, and whatever the new number is generated, that will be given as a short data type, primitive data type. So exchange the high and low order bytes of num and returns the result. Integer class method, again all these are static methods. So to call this method, you need to use name of the wrapper class integer, after that dot operator, and then method name. So first method is return type is integer object, name of the method is decode, argument you can pass as string. So whatever the string you are passing over here, this string will be converted into integer object, and if this conversion get fails, it will generate number format exception. Next, return type is integer, name of the method is pass in bracket you can provide argument of type string. So this string will get converted into integer data type, and while doing this, if there any it will get fails, it will generate number format exception. Next, return type is int, pass int, method name, argument, first argument is string, second as radix. In second method, By default, radix is considered as 10, but in third method, we can specify our radix separately instead of using default. So as per the radix specified over here, this string will get converted into int, and if it get false, it will generate number format exception. To string method, the number whatever you are giving over here, that number will be converted into string as a return value. Next, return is integer object, name of the method value of argument of type integer. This integer number primitive data type will get converted into integer object. This is boxing method. Next, return type is integer, name of the method value of parameter, that is string, throws number format exception. It means this string str will get converted into integer object, and if it get false, it will generate number format exception. Next, value of return type is integer object. Argument, first argument is string and second argument is integer as radix. So whatever the string you are giving over here, this string will get converted into integer object by using radix we have specified, and if this conversion is not possible, it will generate number format exception. Next, return type is int, reverse bytes in bracket int num. Exchange the order of bytes in num and returns the result. We continue the integer class method. Again, all these are static methods. So return type is int bit count in bracket int num. So returns the number of set bits in number. So what are the number you are providing over here? All these methods already we have seen. Some of the methods we have seen. What are the number you are giving over here? In that internally this number will get converted into binary format, and it will count the number of ones over there, and that count will be returned. Number of leading zeros, already this method we have seen. It will count the leading zeros in binary format of the provided argument integer. Number of trailing zeros, so whatever the argument you are giving over here, its trailing number of zeros it will count, and that will be returned. Int reverse argument int num, so it reverses the order of bits in num and returns the result. So what are the number over here given over here? Let us consider the number is 6. Binary format is it will be definitely in 32-bit pattern, but for example I take only with 4 bits. So if the integer number is 6, conversion will be binary conversion will be 0 1 1 0. So reverse of it will be, okay, I take 7. So if integer number is 7, binary conversion will be 0 1 1 1. Reverse will be 1 1 1 0. So like this, bit by bit, all the bits will get reversed. Now whatever the new number will be there, that will be returned. Int rotate left, int num comma int n. So what are the number you are going to provide? In this number will be converted into binary internally, and by whatever the argument you are specifying over here, by using that number, that much number of bits will be rotated to the left. So returns the result of rotating number left n positions, and whatever the new number is formed, that will be returned. Next method, similar to the 13th, 14th method, is simply it is rotate right. So whatever the number you are specifying, it will rotate that number with n positions towards the right hand side, and the new number generated will be returned. Int sign num argument int. So it will specify sign of the number, whether it is positive or negative, or it is 0. So returns -1 if n is negative, 0 if it is 0, and 1 if it is positive. It means if this num is 0, it will be 0. If it is positive, it will be +1. If it is negative, it will be -1 return value. Next, return type is string, two binary string in bracket int num. So whatever the number you are going to specify over here, that will be converted into binary, and as a string it will be returned. Return type is string, two hex string in bracket int num. This integer number will be converted into hexadecimal string and it will be returned. Return type is string, two octal string in bracket int num. This number will be converted into octal string and that will be returned. Long class methods. So all these are static methods. If you want to use these methods, you have to use long class name, that is long dot and the method name. So first is return type is long, decode in bracket string str. So whatever the string you are going to specify over here, this string will be converted into long object, and if it gets false, it will generate number format exception. Return type is long primitive data type, parse long in bracket string str. This string str will be converted to the equivalent long value, and if this conversion gets false, it will generate number format exception. And while doing this conversion, radix is considered as by default 10. Next method similar to the second method, only the difference is that here we can specify the radix separately. Next, fourth. Return type is string, two string method name. In argument you can specify as long number, so this long number will be converted to the string. Long object, name of the method, value of argument, primitive long type. So this primitive long number will be converted into long object. This is boxing method. Return type is long object, name of the method, value of in bracket string str. This string str will be converted into long object, and if it gets false, it generates number format exception. Return type is long object, name of the method, value of first argument string, second argument int radix. So by using specified radix, this string str will be converted into long object, and if the conversion fails, it generates number format exception. Next, return type is long primitive data type, reverse bytes, name of the method, argument is of long type. So this long number, in this number, bytes will be exchanged from lower to higher order, and whatever the new number is formed, that will be returned. So exchange the order of the bytes in num and returns the result. Continue the long methods. So bit count. So what are the number you are going to specify over here? In that, how many number of ones are there present in binary format, it counts will be returned. Return type is integer, number of leading zeros. Whatever the long number you are specifying as an argument, in that it will find how many number of leading zeros are present, that count will be returned. Return type is integer, name of the method, number of trailing zeros in bracket long return long value you will specify. So whatever the long value you are specifying over here, so it will be converted into binary format, and that in that it will find the number of trailing zeros, and that count will be returned. Int reverse long num. So whatever number you are going to specify, bit by bit, all the bits will be will be reversed, and the new number form will be returned. Long primitive data type, return value, rotate left in bracket long num comma int n. So in this, whatever the number you are going to specify, in that n number of positions will be rotated towards left, and the new number whatever generated, it will be returned. Rotate right, whatever the number you are going to specify here, in that n number of positions will be rotated towards right, and the new number generated will be returned. Return type is int sign num in bracket long num. So whatever the number num you are using over here, return value will be the integer which specifies the sign of a number. So if number is 0, return will be 0. If number is negative, return will be -1. If number is positive, return will be +1. Next, return type is string, two binary string in bracket argument long num. So this long number will be converted into binary string. Return type is string, name of the method 2-hex string, argument a long number. So this long number will be converted to hexadecimal string format. Next, return type is string, 2-octal string in bracket long num. So this long number will be converted to the octal string and this string will be returned. Now, these all are the character class methods. All these are static. If you want to use this method, you need to use name of the character class character, that is character dot and further the name of the method. We will see one by one. Return type is boolean is later in bracket cat ch. So you can use like this character dot is later in bracket, you can specify any character. It will check whether the specified character is a character or not, is a letter or not. So determines if it is true, otherwise if it is correct later, it is true, otherwise it is false. So determines whether the specified cat value is a letter. Next, return type is boolean is digit. Here character ch. So if this ch is a digit, return will be true, otherwise return will be false. Boolean return type is white space in bracket char ch. If this ch holding a white space, that is a space, return will be true, otherwise return will be false. Boolean is uppercase in bracket char ch. Determines whether the specified character value is uppercase. That means if this ch is uppercase letter, uppercase character, return will be true, otherwise return will be false. Next, return type is boolean, method name is lowercase, argument char variable. If this ch holding a lowercase character, return will be true, otherwise return will be false. Return type is char, to uppercase, char ch. So whatever the ch variable over here, this ch variable value will be converted to the uppercase. Returns the uppercase form of the specified char value. Opposite to that, to lowercase. This ch value, this character will be converted to the lowercase after execution of this method. Char to string in bracket ch. This character ch will be converted to string. Returns a string object. Here it should be string return type. String object representing the specified character value, that is a one character string. Remember this return type should be string. Static boolean return type is boolean is space char in bracket char ch. Determines whether the specified char value is space. It will just check whether it is space or not. Boolean, all boolean methods. These are instance methods. Means to use this method we need to use object of a boolean class. Return type is boolean. Boolean value returns a boolean equivalent. Int return type is integer compared to in bracket boolean b. So the object which is invoking this method, that object is compared with this argument b. Return 0 if the invoking object and b contains the same value. Returns true if invoking object is true and b is false, otherwise returns negative. Boolean equals, return type is boolean, method name is equals, object type it should be a boolean object. So if it will return true if both of the object, that means invoking object and the argument object, both of these are same, then it will be returned true, otherwise false. This is static method. Static boolean parse byte in bracket string str. So this string str will be converted to the boolean, returns the byte equivalent of the number contains in the string specified by str. Okay, we will skip this method. It is of type, it is for byte, so don't use this method. Fifth, string to string returns the string equivalent of invoking object. Static string to string boolean bool val. So whatever the boolean value you have written over here, it will be converted to the string. Static return type is boolean value of, here the boolean primitive type. So this primitive type argument will be converted to the object boxing. Boolean value of string boolean. So returns true if bool string is true, otherwise false. So these all about the methods which are available with different wrapper classes. Now let's see one short example by using NetBeans. So here I am using, I have created one object of integer data, integer wrapper class, integer I equals to new integer 10. So this 10 will be now converted as an object. So my object integer class object I holding value as 10. Now we are using some methods with integer class. So first, integer system.out.println integer.reverse bytes in bracket I. This is static method. So this I object I am providing as an argument. So byte by bytes, all the bytes will be reversed after the execution of these methods. So simultaneously we will see, okay, first we will I explain this. Integer dot reverse I. So here after the execution of this method, bit by bit, all the bits will be reversed in this I. So here reverse will be byte by byte and here reverse will be bit by bit. This is difference. Next, system.out.println integer.highest 1 bit. So the position of highest 1 bit in I. System.out.println integer.number of trailing zeros I. So this I, that is this value 10, will be converted into binary format and in that it will count the number of trailing zeros. We will run this code and we will verify the result. So the execution, so we will see what I do. I remove here some parts so that I will get the complete code. I want to see all statements including output. So this comment part I am going to do. So this is my output. Now I can see code as well as output. So this is first result. One long number we are getting over here. This is the result of reverse of a byte. So how we got this result? See, this is integer. Integer size is of 4 bit, 4 byte, that is 32 bits. So that means if the number is 10, how the number is written over there? So the number is 10. That means first last 4 bytes will be 0 1. That is 1010. That is the last byte. So before that I have to place 28 zeros. This is first sequence. What I do? These are the 28 zeros. After that I will place 1010. So this is my original number, that is 10. I am placing in I. When I put reverse of a reverse byte, how it will happen? This first byte will come over here. This will be come over here, and then remaining will be, so byte by byte all will get converted. So as all these are same, all these are zeros, remaining bytes I can copy. So this is reverse of byte. If I say only reverse, that means bit by bit reverse. So if I am going to reverse bit by bit, it will be 0, 1, 0, 1, and then remaining all zeros, because even though I am going to reverse the 0, it will remain as it is. So after that all zeros. So these are my this is my binary sequence after reverse. So what I do, I use calci. So see this one, I goes to binary, and here I will place first this sequence 0 0 0 reverse of byte. I have to refresh this. I'm using the second sequence to verify the answer, reverse of byte. So 4 times 0 0 0 0 0, then 1 0 1 0, and again 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0. So yes, see, this is the number 167772160. This decimal number we are getting over here. We can compare. See, same number we are getting, that is the reverse byte. We got the correct answer. We will verify this number also. Reverse bits. All the bits are reverse. So for that, I place now this number. This number I am going to place now. It is 0 1 0 1, and remaining all are zeros. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So yes, it is completed. So we have completed 32 bits. See, the number is 1342. We will compare reverse of bits. See, the same number we are getting 13421772280. So this is correct. We can verify like this. And the original number was 0000 Okay, no need to do this. So the highest order, that is highest one bit, is at position 1, is at position 8, and number of trailing zeros, because at the end we are having 1010, this trailing zero is 1. So this is the result verified. So this is a short demo how to use wrapper class, how to create wrapper class object, how to use wrapper class methods. So there are too many methods, just we had seen. You can try with another methods. So with this by using this demo, you can use the further methods with different wrapper classes. So I hope you understood. Thank you. Thanks for watching.